It's parents' night in. It's parents' night in. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good evening.
Hello.
I am your host for this evening, Justin.
Why do you sound like Gru?
I don't know. Welcome to Parents' Night In,
Good evening.
here at enough.com.
Tonight, we're watching a super fun flick called Ace Ventura.
One of the funniest movies ever made.
Yes, and because of that, I think it's very important that we pair it with something that is equally
Lowbrow?
on the same level. A beautiful cava from Barcelona.
Barcelona.
We're drinking De Bone cava tonight.
Oh, we're drinking De Bone?
De Bone.
You're gonna get De Bone.
Yeah, I read the label when I was pouring your cava, and I said to myself, he's not even going to be able to contain himself. I'm going to tell him what it's called, and I know what he's going to say.
I'm very predictable that way.
So the movie has started.
The movie started.
This is the movie that defined the summer before my, was it 1994 you said?
Oh, it actually came out early 94, like February.
Yeah, okay, so it defined the summer between my freshman and sophomore year of high school.
It was my late freshman year of college.
Yeah. And we got it on video that summer, and our lives were forever changed. This was before Dumb and Dumber, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this was his breakout.
This was his breakout.
Okay.
94 was the year of Jim Carrey. It was this, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber.
All in the same year?
All in the same year.
Holy
Three classic Jim Carrey movies.
He's currently playing soccer with
The UPS box.
Yeah, the UPS box that clearly says glass. I love that when he hikes it over his head, it hits him in the head, and he doesn't even flinch.
Nope. This, to me, is still Jim Carrey's funniest movie.
Yes.
His delivery in every line is perfect.
Yeah, he's got the rubber face and everything, and he just nails it all the way through from start to finish.
And this is one of those movies that you think is just not going to age well, because it's like, oh, it was funny the first time, but then you watch it later, and it's like, you pick up on so many little minor throwaway lines that are still fucking hilarious.
Throwaway lines, throwaway reaction faces.
Yep. His performance has multiple layers of funny. There's like the standout lines, like the Alllrighty then and all that shit.
Right.
But
Well, and there's things like this where we say, ooh, ja, boo, boo, doo, doo.
Yes.
And my brother and I have been saying that to animals near each other for years.
I'm pretty sure I had said that for years before I even saw this movie. That's just what you say to animals.
Yeah,
You
I
go,
guess.
"Oh,
Yes, but ooh, ja, boo, boo, doo, doo.
not that exact.
I'm
but
just
you get
saying,
what I
like,
mean.
it turned into that very quickly.
Yeah. I mentioned it was my favorite Jim Carrey movie, but it's one of my 3 favorite Jim Carrey movies that were directed by the same guy, Tom Shadyac. He directed this, he directed Liar Liar, and he directed Bruce Almighty. And those, for me, are Jim Carrey's 3 best movies. So basically, Jim Carrey should just only do movies with Tom Shadyac. So Ace Ventura, for those of you not familiar, is a pet detective, meaning he is hired to go track down missing pets or stolen pets.
In this case, stolen.
In this case, stolen. The ex-husband stole the pet from his ex-wife, and she hired Ace to go recover the dog. In addition to the cava, I am also drinking a beer.
Double fisting.
Double fisting. I'm drinking...
He's doing the classic double fist.
I'm drinking...
A double fist deluxe.
An offering from our local brewery.
A double fist doozy.
Jesus fucking Christ, are you going to let me plug them or not?
Sorry.
I'm drinking an offering from our local brewery right here in Weymouth, Massachusetts. Barrel House Z.
Barrel House
Z is the purveyor of some goddamn delicious beers.
It's true.
Barrel House Z's gimmick is that they take their beer and they age it in liquor barrels for a month or 2 months or whatever. So a lot of their stuff is aged. This particular one is not. This is one of the unaged ones, which they call In the Buff.
ITB.
But it's Sunny in 79, it's called. It's a ginned Pilsner. And it is quite tasty.
Yes.
So he brought the dog back to its rightful owner, which is the guy's ex-wife, who's like, oh, I could pay you, or we could just rub uglies. Which would you prefer? And he's like, oh, let's fuck.
And now...
So that first thing is just to really introduce what Ace does and who he is. And
yes.
Now the plot really gets going.
I really enjoy how you're doing like an in-depth analysis of one of the most like basic movies ever.
Well, screenwriting 101, you introduce a character through a thing that's unrelated to the main plot, just like Raiders of the Lost Ark, for example. First scene is he's after something that's not related to the Lost Ark. Mm-hmm. And then the inciting incident happens, and it's them stealing the dolphin Snowflake from the Miami Dolphins. So is Snowflake just like a super liberal dolphin? Is that why they named him Snowflake?
Probably, yeah. He gets butt hurt a lot.
He gets butt hurt a lot.
I hate that term. It's so stupid.
He's butt hurt right now. He's being kidnapped.
Yeah. He's in a van. He's not even in water.
Yeah.
They must not have gone far. See, look at that. I'm already doing detective work.
Detective?
Yeah.
Was this where you first became aware of Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Because I knew...
I had watched it in living color, but I was young enough that I just didn't pick up on
You didn't
him.
connect the two?
Yeah.
I became a fan of Jim Carrey's very early because he was on David Letterman. My parents used to tape David Letterman religiously and watch it the next day.
Oh.
Every single night they would tape it. We had tapes and tapes of Letterman. And Jim
Interesting.
Carrey was on there, and my mom was like, you gotta watch this guy, he's hilarious. And he was doing like all crazy faces and physical comedy and impressions and shit. I was like, holy shit, he's awesome. And then In Living Color came up. I was like, hey, it's that guy. Ventura.
I feel like Ryan Reynolds has gotten some of his comedic delivery from this.
I agree.
Like, you can tell that Ryan Reynolds grew up on these movies.
Yep.
Because every once in a while, he throws out these one-liners, and he makes the face and the head tilt and the little head jerk and everything.
Like in Just Friends, where he's like, I'm just gonna have this glass of water. I'm stuffed.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds, if you're listening, is that true?
And Ryan Reynolds, if you're listening, we love you anyway.
Well, yes. 9 Lives. Do they still make 9 Lives cat food?
I don't know.
With Morris?
My grandmother had a cat named... Oh, not Morris. She had a cat that looked exactly like Morris, but his name was Toby.
My grandmother had a cat named Jim.
He says, come to me, jungle friends. And they all start running, and he has like skunks hiding in laundry baskets, and he has a monkey and a bread box,
And
and,
our
he
dog
has a
is
squirrel
going to try
and
to
a
run
peanuts.
to him because she's a moron.
Yeah, there's an iguana. He's basically like an animal hoarder. And when he jiggles the keys in the lock, they all
Signal.
hide.
Yeah, it's a signal to hide.
They've been trained well.
You saw the second Ace Ventura, right?
I've never watched the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of don't want to.
No, it's worth watching.
No, I just don't want. I don't want it to ruin this for me.
It doesn't ruin this.
And I already have It's Kind of Hot in These Rhinos down, so I don't need anything else.
Kelly, there's more to it than kind of hot in these rhinos.
Also, this is the first time we saw Courtney Cox.
Wasn't the first time I saw Courtney Cox.
First time, well, other than Dancing in the Dark.
Nope. She was on Family Ties. She was Alex's girlfriend.
Right,
in
I didn't
season
watch that when I was
6
young.
and 7.
What year was season 6?
Started in 87.
Yeah, I was, what,
So I
8
knew
years
her-
old?
I knew
So,
her
like,
from
I didn't
that.
care.
And then
This was my first introduction to her, and do you know I could not shake? What I could not shake is that she reminded me of a slightly prettier Margot Kidder. Like, I just had a really hard time
I
separating
guess her
her
voice
from that.
is sort of
There's something in the
husky in the
voice and
same
her,
way?
like she has a similar look in this movie with the bangs and the short hair and the suits.
I guess. Because of Family Ties, I thought Courtney Cox was super hot. Because, and then when she was in this, I was like, oh, look, it's her. And then Friends debuted this same year. And I was like, hey, it's Courtney Cox again.
Yeah. So many one-liners in this movie. Like,
Yep, a ton.
this came out in 1994, so what are we talking about? 24 years?
That's fucking insane.
Did I do that math right?
Yes.
That's not right.
That is right. 24 years
That's
ago.
messed up. So anyway, this movie comes out 24 years ago, and I and my siblings still quote this movie all of the time.
Yeah.
It, like, so many of the one-liners are hilarious, but they fit into everyday life. You can use them all the time.
Yeah. We're old.
That makes me sad because, like, you know when you were little and your parents are like, oh my God, this movie came out when I was young and I loved it, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh God, they're so
That's
old.
so
Why'd they make me
old.
watch a stupid old movie?
Well, if you think about it, okay, so if you go back to 1994, what was a movie that was 24 years old then? 1970. Love Story, let's say.
I've never seen Love Story, so.
It's not good. But in 1987, when Sgt. Pepper was 20 years old, you're like,
Yeah.
wow, that's so long ago. And now, 1987 was 31 years ago. Oh, yeah, The Bitch. That one gets tossed around a lot.
Yeah. Well, and his response is, what? Like, the way he says what cracked me up every time when I was young and I would watch this. He'd go, what?
It's one of the best scenes in the movie where he inspects the tank.
Yes.
He does like...
And I had never seen really that much Star Trek, so this
Yeah.
was a little bit lost on me, and I still
Really?
thought it was hilarious.
He does 3 different Star Trek characters in one scene.
I hated Star Trek when I was young.
Oh, you're crazy. God, I love Star Trek. This scene sort of taught me how to do a William Shatner impression. Like, I don't do it exactly the way he does, but like...
You do
called...
William Shatner being impersonated by someone else.
No, not really. I still do William Shatner, but it's like when you look at somebody's caricature of a famous person, you're like, oh yeah, that guy's got a really big nose or whatever. Like, it sort of points out the exaggeration of William Shatner's performances in a way that at the time I was too young to have sort of picked up on fully. So I was like, oh yeah, he really does talk like that. And that helped me develop my own William Shatner impression, kind of.
Right. I feel that way about when... What's his name was on SNL and used to do Obama. What was his name?
Jay
He's
Farrow.
Really good. Jay Farrow. His Obama, I feel like, was a defining Obama impersonation, and then other people were able to do it because he did it. That's how I felt about his. Because he found that niche.
Right. You have to find the exaggeration.
And he had a very specific one. Like, Obama's was very... He doesn't talk like anybody else. There's no one out there that talks like him.
No, but yet it was hard to pick up on... When he got elected president, we were all like... How are you going to do an Obama impression? Like,
and then as soon as Jay Farrow did it, you were like, like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because he's got a really weird speaking cadence. But you didn't pick up on it until somebody else pointed it out for you. It's weird how that works.
So now Ace is in the police department trying to get some information, and they're all making fun of him because they don't like him. Hey, see that guy in the background? I can't be sure.
Which guy?
Oh, maybe not. There was a guy in the background who looks like the band leader from Dirty Dancing, but I don't know if it's him.
Tito Suarez?
Yes.
I love
that you remember his name. This is the most important thing that's ever happened in our relationship.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because when I was editing our Dirty Dancing episode, I had to hear the name about 1,000 times. That's why I remember. Oh, yeah.
Our own Tito Suarez.
That's the only reason. Parents' Night In is educational, folks.
My work here is done.
This bit's hilarious, too, where he's talking out of his butt. Tone Loc is like, dude... Fucking really, I'm trying to do work here. Stop
and by the way, the second he started speaking, I was like, oh my God, Tone Loc's in this movie. Funky Cold Medina was a defining song of my generation.
Oh my God, that's sad.
I was in like 5th grade when that song came out. That was a big deal. Because what the fuck is a Funky Cold Medina?
Do you have a breath mint? Some Binaca?
And then he sings Asshole Mio.
Oh, yeah.
I also was very proud of myself because at 15 years old, I actually picked up on all of the puns he was using here. I was like, I'm smarter than a lot of people because I know exactly what he's talking about.
And I knew, I got the Asshole Mio reference.
Yeah, me too.
You know why I got the Asshole Mio reference?
Why?
It's a Wonderful Life. Martini sings it as they're like driving to his new house.
Oh. What happened to Tone Loc? He's cool.
Nothing. Did he do any other movies after this?
I don't know, but I really like him. He's a likable dude.
He was good in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the worst part about this movie is Sean Young because she's so over-the-top bad guy. And in a movie like this where Jim Carrey is just chewing scenery left and right, the villain kind of needs to be a little understated, I feel like.
Yeah, maybe.
What the hell is he doing here?
But I think it's okay because she's a woman. I think no, I'm saying that like her being ridiculously over the top mean and like sort of trying to chew scenery as well is okay because she's a woman and it's like more interesting that way as opposed to if it was another guy and it was 2 guys it would like stop trying to take away from him. I don't know why I feel that way. I just do.
I don't agree. I feel like the villain that's playing against Jim Carrey, who's just a straight man, needs to just be a straight man and not a mustache-twisting, obvious villain. Even at the time, her performance bugged me. And I love this movie, but like, I was like, wow, I don't remember Sean Young being so terrible in other movies.
Yeah, she's pretty bad. Oh, I don't know about other movies.
You know what he should have done? He should have just grabbed her and thrown her against the wall and been like, say, kiss me.
Oh, Jesus.
Say, kiss me.
No, that's a little too rapey for me. If you don't know what we're referring to, it's from the movie Blade Runner. And
where Harrison Ford just throws her against the wall.
Harrison Ford is pretty hot, and I have a very hard time being mad at Harrison Ford. However, when we watched Blade Runner, I was like, okay, I get that she's a robot and stuff, but he just raped the robot. Like, it was very rapey. He was like, you don't want to leave, you want to kiss me. And she's like, no, I want to leave. And he was like, no, you will kiss me. You will kiss me. You will kiss me. You will kiss me. And then they do it.
This band is Cannibal Corpse. And this band is in this movie because Jim Carrey is a fan of Cannibal Corpse.
Most of Tone Loc's filmography is singing Wild Thing or Funky Cold Medina in movies or shows.
That's funny. Jim Carrey's a metalhead.
In real life?
Yep. So yeah, the second Ace Ventura is very clearly not as good as the first one, but it's still worth the watch.
I don't know.
Got a lot of funny stuff
I just
in
don't
it.
want to do it. What if it ruins it for me?
Kelly, I don't understand what does that mean? If the Star Wars prequels can't ruin the original trilogy, then Ace Ventura 2 cannot ruin 1.
New England clam chowder. Which, by the way, every time I hear clam chowder, that's what goes through my head. I could be at the fanciest
Really?
of meals, and someone says, "I'll have the clam chowder," and I think, New England clam chowder.
You know what goes through my
I
head?
would be insufferable if I was a waitress at a seafood restaurant.
You'd have to recite the line.
Every time.
You know what goes through my head is the Simpsons episode where Mayor Quimby's son is like, chowder, say it, chowder. And the French waiter's like, chowdale. Chowdale, chowdale, it's chowder. This scene has one of the funniest.
All of the funniest, the whole scene is
No,
good.
this scene has like one of the funniest lines that has no right to be funny. It's just the way he says it. When she introduces him as, this is my lawyer, Ace, Tom Ace. And he goes, Tom Ace. He just runs with the charade. It's great.
Yeah.
Doesn't even miss a
No.
beat. Tom Ace. And then he goes into a food poisoning thing. How is everybody feeling tonight? I wonder if it was him or somebody else that came up with the ridiculous ducktail hair.
I think he does a lot of that stuff himself. Like, he was the one that decided to give himself a bowl cut and chip his tooth for Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, that's right.
Like, he showed up on set with a chipped tooth, and they were like, what'd you do? And he's like, I took a screwdriver to it. Like, he did that himself by choice.
Really?
Yes.
Jesus.
It just occurred to me, though, as we're watching this today, that he planned this whole bathroom thing so far in advance that that's why he started talking about the food poisoning thing.
Right.
It didn't occur to me until literally just now.
Really?
Nope.
Of course that's why he did it.
I don't know if this is true. There's a little, list here that says that Jim Carrey was not the first choice for Ace Ventura.
What?
Rick Moranis was approached about the part
There's no chance.
and chose to turn it down and do the live-action version of the Flintstones instead.
So this scene coming up where he encounters the shark was basically, and his reaction to the shark was basically what hooked me in the trailer. Like, I wanted to see it anyway just because it was Jim Carrey, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I love Jim Carrey. But his reaction to the shark is so goddamn
Yeah,
funny.
it's great. Huh. Ace Ventura and Hannibal Lecter are the result of the same method of acting. In the movie, Ace compares Ray Finkle's room to the prison cell of Hannibal Lecter. When Carrey appeared on Inside the Actor's Studio, he told James Lipton about his dinner with Anthony Hopkins and the discovery that they had both based their characters' movements off animals. Carrey's on birds and Hopkins on reptiles.
Yeah, I remember Hopkins talking about reptiles. And, like, the first time you see him, he's, like, basically a snake that's coiled up and sort of resting. It's like, that's terrifying because you don't know what he's going to do.
Right.
Here it is.
The mouth is insane. Like, I have tried to...
You can't do it.
No, I have tried. I have stood in front of a mirror and tried. And I can't. Because he does it without actually moving his jaw.
It's just his lips.
His jaw stays completely still and his lips go. And how do you do that? According to this list also, Tone Loc was the biggest actor in the movie at the time. He was the biggest name in cast upon filming the movie. Carrey was just a new living color cast member.
That's true.
And Friends hadn't premiered yet.
Yeah.
He wanted a name with some credibility to pair with Carrey, and
That's
Tone Loc
Did they pick
kind of had
Tone
it.
Loc of all people?
Well, they were saying he kind of had that in 1993, plus he fit the budget.
That's true.
The entire scene of Ventura impersonating a dolphin trainer by the name of Heinz Gevelvet was cut from the movie's theatrical screening and added back in for the VHS release.
Yes, I knew that.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. When I bought it or rented it on VHS, I was like, "What? That wasn't in there," and I loved it. And I was like,
It's hilarious.
Why would they cut that?
Roger Ebert called
This is
the
great
movie.
too.
Yeah. Like, what is that even?
It's genius, is what
Yeah.
it is. What did Roger Ebert call it?
He called it a long, unfunny slog through an impenetrable plot.
Really?
Yes. They said that none of the Ventura films have been popular with critics, and the original was no exception. It had a 45% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Was that existing at the time?
No. Well, it's probably based on contemporary reviews, but I didn't remember Ebert giving it such a negative review.
Shady Acres Mental Hospital was named after the director.
Oh, Shadyac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
I always liked this little montage.
is a montage of him finding everyone he can find who has one of those rings and examining it to
He wants to make sure that he finds the
eliminate
stone.
people. To eliminate the innocent people that have rings with full stones.
He puts on a beard and he's like arm wrestling. And the guy throws him across the room.
Table! Table!
We've got this man showering. He's got a lot of hair.
Fucking whips him with his towel just so he can get punched in the face and examine the imprint. No, there's 5 stones. That is what is called dedication.
Mm-hmm. I love it though, because when he gets to the place where he's having them sign his banner, he has like 15 punches on his face.
No, zits.
Oh, those are zits?
He put like fake zits on his face.
Oh, I thought that was like a bunch of punches from other rings.
It's so he can look like a little teenage fanboy.
I also love how he's wearing like cargo shorts and high black boots.
Yeah.
Seems like something you would have done in the 90s.
I would have.
Did you?
Ask Uncle Bales.
Okay.
What I used to wear every Saturday and Sunday morning at our apartment while I was like sitting there watching TV.
Uncle Bales isn't here.
Okay. It was my Doc Martens and Scooby boxer briefs.
But why the boots?
Or boxers.
I've heard this before now that you mention it.
Because my feet were cold.
Oh.
So I would just put on my boots.
How about socks?
I would put socks on, but I would put socks and boots on and walk around the house.
God, you're weird.
In that and my Scooby boxers.
You know what I love? Courtney Cox's dog in this shot. He's so cute.
He's so cute. This line has a ton of great little one-liners too. This line, did I say? Yes.
This line is a bunch of great lines.
This scene. Why don't you cry about it? Saddlebags.
What do you feed your dog?
What do you feed your dog? He's very unhappy. It's amazing he's still alive. Yeah, and you're ugly.
Why are they sitting in her backyard having iced tea anyway?
I don't know. Yeah, it seems very informal.
It's a very out of place situation.
He calls her fatty.
Yeah.
She weighs what?
And then
98
saddlebags.
Pounds? What a cute doggy.
That seems like a very Uncle Bales move. I like her, so let me treat her like poops.
Yep.
And then tell everybody else in the room after she leaves how much I like her.
Uncle Bales, we love you, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot Roger Podacter dies.
Yeah, he gets thrown out of his his
that.
balcony. Okay, so we're at Roger Podacter's apartment. Ace is investigating because he does not buy that Roger Podacter just arbitrarily committed suicide. He thinks there might be some foul play at play. Hey, LBJ, I think there was foul play. There's blood on the railing.
Why did she just reach into evidence with a bare hand?
Yeah, she's a pretty terrible...
Well, she also committed the crime, so...
Well, yes. Oh my God, Kelly, with the spoilers.
Spoiler! If you haven't seen this movie yet, fuck you.
It's a very entertaining story.
She tries so hard to be, like, steamy.
It doesn't work.
I also had no idea who she was before this movie. I had never seen her in anything else.
I had seen her
To be honest with you, up until Blade Runner, I had never seen her in anything since.
I had seen her in Blade Runner and Dune.
Dune
is, as any of my Enough.com readers know, an awesomely shitty movie. Mm-hmm. It was, in fact, the original awesomely shitty movie.
The original?
It was the first one.
The premiere?
The first one that I wrote about.
It was the premiere?
It was the first awesomely shitty movie.
It was the premiere. Here we go.
Kelly didn't really study. Oh yeah, can you feel that, huh?
He starts humping the air.
What I want to know is how anyone in any of these scenes kept a straight face.
Yeah, how many takes do you think it took?
Maybe that's why Sean Young had to be so over-the-top stupid, is because she was just trying not to laugh the whole time.
Probably. I don't buy Courtney Cox falling for him because of his display in the apartment, but she's clearly like making the moves on him now. She's like, that was really impressive what you did back there in the apartment. You mean when he was humping the air and screaming with the door opening and closing?
She's clearly watching like every move of his face in that one shot where she's...
Yeah.
Look at his mouth.
She's like, oh my God, I'm going to put my tongue in that mouth.
I want his mouth on my body.
She's such a good actress. Look at her. No, I mean it. Like, I actually believe that she's in love with him.
Except the first season of Friends, she was terrible.
Well,
Remember that?
she was trying to find her Monica.
I guess.
And then she found her, and she was awesome.
No, she was awesome once she found her, but it
Yeah.
took a little while.
Do you know they originally wanted her for Rachel?
Really?
And she wanted to play Monica.
Not too shabby for Rachel. Who the hell is that? Ace doesn't know about football, really, because he didn't remember that Ray Finkle blew the Super Bowl.
Jim Carrey's an interesting guy these days. Are you familiar with what he's up to?
He's been painting.
Yes.
Political paintings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an
Very
interesting
prolific, too. Seems like he's tweeting a new one every day.
guy. Yeah. We watched that, was it Jim and Andy? Is that what it was called?
Jim and Andy.
Or
yeah.
Andy and Me or whatever?
He was Jim and Andy.
Yeah. We watched that documentary on Netflix.
It was good.
It was really good. Jim Carrey, especially with his big old long beard and he's getting older and stuff, he has like the most interesting face. I could stare at him all day.
Yeah.
His face is weathered in a way that has made him just really interesting to look at.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that believes that like some of his persona is totally a put on. And then there's another part of me that believes that he's just a little fucking crazy. But he's such an interesting person.
Yes, he is.
Like, I could watch a documentary with him all day.
Well, and the whole thing with him playing Andy Kaufman is he tried not to break character the whole time they were
Oh, yeah, he
shooting.
went totally method and annoyed the shit out of everybody.
Everybody, which is interesting because everyone thinks of Jim Carrey as just like, oh, you're just a goofy comedian, but he was really trying to just be a great actor.
Yeah.
And
I believe he is a really great actor.
He is
I
a
think
very good
sometimes
actor.
he takes shitty parts, but
I don't think he quite achieved the level that he wanted to, probably, because his best movies are still the ones where he's just a goofball.
yeah.
But
I think some of that is because the projects that he picked didn't allow him to get to that place.
that's like he did The Truman Show, which was a good movie, but not great.
I liked it.
I didn't love that movie. Like, it was fine.
I just loved the concept behind that movie. I thought it was a
cool idea.
really interesting concept.
Yeah.
And so to me, that was kind of enough to carry it. Like, I found it to be interesting enough that it didn't need to do much more than that. This looks like the scariest place on earth to live.
Yeah.
Ray Finkle's house.
It's a real shithole.
I'm Ray's mother, and this is Ray's father.
They spray painted choke all over the house.
The mule can't kick.
You'd think they would have... I mean, this was 10 years later. You'd think they would have maybe painted over it at this
Well,
point?
clearly his parents are like,
Degenerates.
crazy. Well, his mother's crazy. His mother doesn't believe this. And I think the dad is just humoring the mom.
Anyway, you have to respect him for trying to kind of break out of the wacky
I totally
comedian
respect him
role.
for that. Well, Martin Short has done it and played some really creepy guys on things like CSI and stuff.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams did it beautifully.
Robin Williams did it amazingly.
He's like the textbook version of that,
Yes.
like where he is the funniest of funny and manic and crazy, and he also plays a really good
plays
psycho.
a great creep.
Oh, so good.
Insomnia and 1 Hour Photo.
He was just so awesome.
Yeah, that was a really tough loss.
He was.
And of course, Good Will Hunting. He was amazing in that.
Yeah. Remember how good he was in the Dad of the Year, Father of the Year?
Oh, yeah.
He was really good in that.
he was.
It was like a very dark, tortured
Yep.
role.
and
and he did it so well.
They say that's true of, a lot of the funniest comedians is that deep down they're
They're dark and tortured
really
souls.
dark and tortured.
Yeah. Well, and truly the case with him, for sure.
Yeah. Ray Finkle's dad must have a terrible life.
Yeah.
Humoring his mom, who's a crazy person.
Who's also the librarian in Ghostbusters, who
Ghostbusters.
gets covered in goo.
She doesn't get covered in goo.
Her library does.
Her library
Her
does.
card catalog gets all fucked up.
It's true. If you have not heard our Ghostbusters review on Paris Night In, you should watch it because
Yeah.
it's great. What a dump of a house.
Well, she's clearly got some kind of mental illness. It's
What
actually
a
very
sports
sad.
nut, huh?
And he's got like laces out, die Dan, all over his walls. Dan doesn't hold the football. The quarterback doesn't hold the football for the kicker.
Yeah, that's true.
So why is he taking it out on Dan Marino?
Wow, that's a big plot hole.
That's a big plot hole. And I'm a pink hat. I know nothing about sports.
Yeah, that's bad.
I have to tweet the world.
I guess because Dan Marino was a name on the Dolphins, but yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. The guy who holds the football doesn't do shit.
Question.
Dan Marino wouldn't have even been on the field at this point.
Right. Why?
What the fuck? How did we just figure this out?
Finkle.
That's ridiculous. Ray Finkle's full of shit. I'm sorry, Ray Finkle. You're fake news. You're fake news.
Please don't use that voice on my weekend. They've stolen Dan Marino.
Dan Marino.
Dan Marinara.
Dan Marino Ice... Italian... Fuck, hold on. Dan Marino, Italian isotoner. No?
No. Well, I mean, maybe if you had done it right the first time, maybe.
That's what editing is for, dear. Dan Marino, Italian isotoner gloves.
All right, there we go. Post it.
Let me see. Question. Why does Ray Finkle place all the blame for his bad kick in the Super Bowl on Dan Marino? The quarterback doesn't hold the ball for the kicker. And as a very casual sports fan, even I know that much. Hashtag major plot hole. Hashtag Ace Ventura. Hashtag 24 years ago, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, exclamation point. Shouldn't he have blamed the guy who holds the ball? Does that guy have a name or a title, or is he just ball holder guy?
I'll let you know how it goes, audience. I'll let you know if anybody is actually awake and cares about this right now. Kelly Ballard asking the important questions since 2018.
Asking the tough questions.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Pause. Pause the movie.
Why?
Look at the desk.
There's an apple and a banana and an apple.
What does it look like?
Dick and two balls.
It's a penis.
Wow.
They were planting clues the whole time. That's an Easter egg. I fucking found it. I am on fire.
Ow.
It's really loud.
It's really loud.
I probably just woke up my child, but I'm on fucking fire,
That's
man.
like Brad Pitt showing up randomly in frames of Fight Club at the beginning.
I don't remember that, but...
What?
It's been a long time since I've watched Fight Club.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, dudes, I've watched this movie 7,000 times, and I've never noticed that.
Before. That's meat and two veg right there.
It's a dick and balls.
Right there on the desk.
Yeah.
It's
a P&B.
A general and two colonels.
Twig and berries.
Twig and berries. Hey, guys.
It's a P&B.
Finkle is Einhorn.
Einhorn is Finkle. Finkle is Einhorn.
Einhorn is a man. I'll be right back. I'm going to investigate this further with my meat and two veg.
Make sure that you get a gif of this for the...
Oh, a picture of the meat and two veg?
Yeah.
On the desk? The apple and two balls. Wait, no, the banana and two balls. I did that wrong.
If someone has a penis shaped like an apple, I don't want to know.
They need to go to the hospital pronto.
Sir.
Public service announcement. If your dick is shaped like an apple, you should not be on the streets.
Please, call somebody for help.
Please.
Immediately.
Consult a healthcare technician to reshape your bowl-shaped apple. Wait, your apple-shaped dick into a banana-shaped dick.
You are not on fire tonight. You can't speak.
I am missing left and right tonight. I am off the mark, you might say. Oh, Kelly's taking selfies with her Sam 76.
Hashtag parents.
Which is what we're drinking now. Sam 76.
Yes. So, Sean Young has just realized that he's figured the whole thing out.
He's figured it all out.
And in order to fix that, she decides to shove her tongue in his mouth.
Yeah, which is weird. By rubbing her latent penis into his hip.
Yeah.
That's an odd move, I would say, to start dry humping him with your cack that you're not supposed to have.
Cack.
Your cack.
Oh, now he's crazy and he's got the tutu on. Courtney Cox is trying really hard not to laugh right now while he's doing the instant replay.
The doctor in this movie is that guy. Oh, that's the mayor from Ghostbusters. That's Lenny.
How did that happen? The librarian and the mayor?
Yeah. Wow.
Something's going on here with Shady Acres Tom.
Tom Shadyac.
Yeah.
Likes to recast people from Ghostbusters.
They're at Shady Acres, by the way, because Ray Finkle at one point was there. Was
yes,
a patient.
he was committed to Shadyac.
So they are...
Didan.
Yeah, there's
isotoner gloves.
He made his own pot holder and then stitched Didan into it.
Was Dan Marino doing isotoner glove commercials 10 years ago?
He was doing them for years, yes.
Was he?
When I saw this movie, I was like, oh, that's funny, because he had already done isotoner glove commercials.
For a decade?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I had that exact diary, by the way.
I had one very similar. Did you ever write in it?
Uh-huh.
I had a diary.
I was really good about diaries.
I never bothered to write in.
Yeah, I was really good about a diary.
Just could not actually, commit to doing it.
Someone's coming into the closet. He gets in the box. Most of my diary entries were things like, I'm so mad at my mom. And this boy's really cute.
Were you writing about me already?
In 5th grade, no.
Oh.
Because, see, I didn't know you yet.
Oh.
When I was in 5th grade, we were still 14 years away from meeting each other. No, 12.
It's weird how that works.
Wait. Time?
This is life,
How, like, sometimes you don't know someone and then sometimes you do? Is that what you mean?
How the most important person in your life was not even in your life for the first 20-something years of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that weird?
You just got really deep there.
I did get deep. Whoa.
Whoa. Have you been smoking the Mary J?
Kelly,
What?
the most important person in my life, I didn't even meet her until I was like 27. Whoa.
What was her name?
Ginger.
Who's Ginger?
Ginger Kelly.
Oh, me. Hi.
Uh-huh.
He has a parrot eating seeds out of his belly button.
That's like 9.5 weeks, except bestiality. By the way, how did we not figure out at the time that was Sean Young's face?
That does not look like Sean Young's face.
It totally does. Totally does.
Don't see it. I still don't see it, and I know, and I've known for 24 years.
Oh, it totally does.
The doggy's laying on the magazine.
The doggy is laying on a
Little
picture
Yorkie.
of Finkle, and his hair is like simulating what Finkle would look like with long hair. And then he figures out Finkle is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkle.
Is Finkle. Finkle is Einhorn.
I wonder how this movie would go over today.
This part?
Yeah,
Probably not great.
probably not great.
I think what was I just looking at recently? I was reading something and I think
It's like-
this was referenced.
He's squeezing.
He's squeezing toothpaste into his mouth. He used a
plunging his
plunger on
face.
his face. He's lighting his clothes on fire. And the crying game is playing.
And the crying games, and there's his butt. Yeah, this sequence might not be
No,
considered
this is not very PC
prudent.
today.
Prudent.
However, most of the movies we watch would not live in the Me Too era.
That's true.
So yeah, so she puts the ball in the thing and she's like, laces out, Dan. So why exactly is she mad at Dan?
Yeah, Dan had nothing to do with it. That is.
Why doesn't Dan point that out? Why isn't he like, guys?
I wasn't the one who held the ball, lady.
I love that he uses the little personal fan as his boat motor.
Just
to go like 2
to
inches.
go 2 feet.
So he's basically Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz
Yeah.
with the horse of a different color.
Yeah.
So she just called in a report that Ace Ventura is the kidnapper.
They're both like, no, kill him. No, kill him.
And Jim Carrey just said he held the ball wrong.
That doesn't make sense. Did Dan Marino used to be the ball handler?
Is that what they call it? The ball handler?
I don't know.
Let's Google
Look it up. Look up Dan
Who
Marino's
holds
career.
the ball in football for the kicker.
Who holds the football in football?
Oh, it's called holder. As a general rule, the second string quarterback used to be the guy who took the snap and held the ball when a kicker attempted a field goal.
Really?
So is it possible that Dan was the
he was
backup quarterback at the time?
It's possible, yeah. Look up Dan Marino's career.
Dan Marino, 1984.
Yeah. Sean Young is beating the shit out of Jim Carrey right now.
All right, will you pause that for a second?
I will.
In the Miami New Times. And it says, it's hard to believe that this year marked the 30th anniversary of the last time the Miami Dolphins appeared in a Super Bowl. But here we are 3 decades later. In 1984, Dan Marino punted just about every NFL record into the sun on his way to leading the Dolphins to a 14-2 record, an AFC championship, and a trip to Super Bowl. To face off against Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers, Dolphins would lose 38-16 in the big game.
So it was not even close.
No, but assumed that the Finns would be back in no time with a QB like Marino. Nope, not since. But he was the actual QB.
So he wouldn't have held the ball. Bullshit.
There's a Reddit about it.
Oh, yeah?
The villain Ray Finkle was seeking revenge on the Miami Dolphins and Dan Marino for the missed field goal in the '84 Super Bowl. However, Finkle was indeed at fault of the botched field goal. If you look at the replay, Marino is holding the snap.
Well,
Typically, starting QBs do not hold the snap for the field goal or extra point attempts unless it's a fake or a sneak play. This is why the laces may have been in, not out. The fake was supposed to be, or the play was supposed to be a sneak for a touchdown, not a field goal. Finkle jumped the gun, and Marino could not pull the ball fast enough to run the play. I mean, it's a Reddit, so clearly it's just a theory.
They're creating a fan theory about a fictional play.
Oh, this goes deep. And then they're like, well, they were down by 1 point. Why would they do a fake play? And if it was a fake play, why did he hold it through the kick? He wouldn't have even placed the ball. It would have been a fake. The holder places the ball, waits for the kicker to start the approach, and then pulls it away because the defense has already started jumping and running in one direction and runs or throws the opposite way.
But then why would they fake a field goal?
Wow, Reddit's a weird place.
It's a really weird place.
There's like 7 entries, and it's like, but why would they run a fake when a field goal is all they needed? It doesn't even make sense for this theory to hold water. I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I'm not sure. To win the game right then and there, no OT, yeah, they would do it.
A
field goal would put them up by 2. Huh?
You're not changing the voices.
Sorry, hold on.
I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. But why would they fake a field goal when all they need is...
Sorry.
Why would they fake a field goal?
What the fuck? You fucked up my joke.
Why would they run a fake when a field goal is all they needed? Doesn't make enough sense for the theory to hold any water. I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I'm not sure.
To win the game right then and there, no OT. A field goal would put them up by 2.
This is how I read books to my child, by the way.
God, I hope that's true.
I can't believe we just went down that
I
rabbit hole.
would not touch them, Sam. I would not eat their green eggs and ham.
But I want to eat them on a boat. I want to eat them in a moat.
I don't want to eat them.
I want to... Are you ready to see how it turns out?
Yeah, I'm really nervous.
You're nervous.
I hope that Dan doesn't die.
You're nervous that they're not going to discover Ray Finkle's dick?
Mm-hmm. And Dan's behind her, and he's like, Ace, come here.
Her dinky's back here.
Her dinky. And everybody now is spitting and throwing
They
up.
play the crying game.
She clearly kissed a lot of them, including
the
Snowflake.
dolphin?
She tries to kill him with a giant piece of glass.
He
His shoulders are into the water.
He backdrops her into the water, and she's like, and she's got the ring on. Why would she be wearing the ring?
It was Super Bowl day.
Yeah, I know, but it's the ring with 4 stones. So, Ace Ventura.
7 thumbs up.
The original Ace Ventura is still one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah.
One of the funniest movies ever.
Amen.
Jim Carrey's a genius.
Yep.
And a hell of a painter, as it turns out. And Jim, we feel you. If we were a painting, we would be the Mona Lisa of feeling your pain. What?
I think what you should do when you go to edit this is
take
not
that
put
out.
that in.
I think what you should do when you go to edit this is delete that part.
Use the edit option liberally there. Liberally.
Hold on. Jim, if we were a painting, we would be the Sistine Totally Get You.
It's getting worse instead of
What?
better. If I must say.
Jim, if we were a painting, we would be American Gotcha.
Wow.
What else you got?
Still life. Apples and pears. Good luck.
Jim, if we were painting, we would be still like-minded with you and your pair of
Apple-shaped penises.
apples.
Anyways, fantastic movie.
Excellent movie.
Like a defining comedy of our generation. And my life was never the same after seeing that.
No.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Parents Night In. Parents Night In. Parents Night In. Parents Night In. Ace Ventura.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Visit us at enougha.com, where you can buy official merch. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.